Hi, I'm Ujjwal. I'm from Kanpur and I'm currently at my final year of graduation at IT Indore. I gave CAT 2020 and I scored a 99.93 percentile. My sectionals were in VARC a 99.29, in DILR a 99.4, and in QA a 99.81. So I started in May. So my first strategy was that I will give around 2 to 3 mocks and then I will decide uh, which sections I'm weak at and which I'm strong at. So I gave 2 to 3 mocks, and what I saw was that yes, QA was good because being an engineer, I was always good at maths. BARC and DILR were little dicey, like verbal ability used to fluctuate a lot. So I decided yes, I have to focus more on verbal and DILR. So yes, the VARC is only about reading, and I know it sounds like a little a basic advice which everyone says, but I think it's the crux. It's only about reading. So I read around 8 to 9 books during my preparation of around 5.5 months, and I also used to read articles, newspaper editorials, and essays. So it's just about reading and comprehending it. It's no more, nothing else. So just read it and then I'll give mocks and then I'll analyze them. So VRC was simple, read whatever possible and then give mocks and then analyze them and then just move on. So what I'll advise is start reading anything and from everywhere. So I think verbal is just about building a thing for English and just speeding up your uh, reading speed and also building up your comprehension. And I think that's all. That's all what I do. So once when I look at the syllabus and I looked at the past papers, what I saw was that arithmetic and geometry were the most prominent sections. So I decided that I'll start with arithmetic, then geometry. So I just on my initial few months, I just focus on these two, and I tried to cover as much as possible. And what I did was I picked up topics and I just started solving them from very basic. And I solved basic questions, advanced questions, and then questions which have appeared in past year CATs. So yes, quants is only about practice and about when you give mocks, you have to build up a strategy like which questions you are going to attempt first. And what also I did was that I used to leave very difficult questions or very large questions because they just take up your time and stop your speed. So quants, I will say it's only about practice, nothing else. If you practice well, whether you are an engineer or non-engineer, you will make it through. I believe LRD is something which is like some people say it's very difficult, while for some it comes naturally. So I was somewhere in the middle. It didn't come naturally to me, and it was also not so difficult. So what I like thought about DILR in starting was that it must be only about logic and solving puzzles and all. But what I found out later was that DILR is about forming patterns in your brain. Like when you solve a certain set of questions, a pattern forms in your brain, and DILR is just about patterns. The more sets you are solving, the various types of pattern start coming into your brain. So I think it's just about that. When you solve a set, you'll see it's a pattern, and after around 2 to 3 months of regular practice, you will just be confident with it. You'll start forming patterns on yourself, and whenever you will see a set, you will know what you have to do. So what I will say is not go into depth of topics, but go into width of topics. And by depth and width, I mean depth is like we pick up a topic, let's say Venn diagram. So don't solve 12, 15 sets of Venn diagram. Solve 4 to 5 and move on to a different topic. So that's width. So go for width rather than depth. And then it's also about when you attempt a mock. It's also about you have to pick up certain sets. You can't solve all the sets possible. So you have to be good at that, and that will only possible when you have solved a variety of sets. Then only you will know which are easy and which you have to leave. So what I will say is go for width rather than depth. Like I would accept that. Yes, it's moving for a more general form of exam, not just for engineers. And yes, I think that's better. I think these schools also need more diversity, not just people from a certain field. So yes, I think it is moving towards a GMAT type of exam. It's a level playing field because there's a reason why verbal ability is in the first and not quants. Because if it's quants, then engineers will just run away with it, because in quants they will just gain up the confidence and then solve everything possible. So I believe yes, it's a level playing field now, and with I think with DILR also coming to the picture, and DILR has come in with very new types of sets. So you can't just practice for it, but yes, you can have that knowledge for it. But yes, the sets are very different. So I would say yes, it's a level playing field, but it's I would not say that uh, like it's not very easy for anyone rather than an engineer or a non-engineer. Like yes, engineers have the thing for quants, but verbal has been coming very tough from the past few years. So yes, it's a level playing field. So my first advice will be that you have to figure out a strategy, uh, give few mocks, and then decide which sections you are weak at and which you are comfortable with. So like I was weak at verbal, so my strategy just revolved around verbal. So and I think I benefited a lot from it. I still remember an RC in the actual cat, and the theme of RC was something which I've read before. So it just became easy for me. So I would say that figure out a strategy and have a proper plan in place on how you will attempt the paper. Like when I went to attempt cat, I knew uh, the first section what the order in which I will be attempting, and then in DILR and then quants. But yes, your plan may go like it may change during the exam, but be comfortable with it, be flexible, but have a plan, proper plan, and I would say work hard. And then yeah, cat's not a difficult paper, it's an easy, just work hard and have a proper plan in place. So yes, one thing I would advise is pick up a hobby. Like I started reading books, and I started reading anything from Chetan Bhagat to Leo Tolstoy. So I was basically reading anything. So yes, pick up a hobby, and just remember one thing, that if you are working hard, you have to just believe in the process. Yes, mocks will be bad. I still remember my last mock was the worst among all. Like I was scoring in 99s, 98s, but the last it just I completely went blank just before the actual cat. So, but I told myself that yes, I have worked hard and I believe in the process. So yes, just believe in the process and pick up a hobby. It can be anything. Start playing sports for around 1 to 2 hours, or just do anything you want to do. That will just help you ooze out the pressure, and just and cat is an easy paper. No, there's no point in worrying a lot about it. And what really interests me or intrigues me is that the philanthropic work which you guys do. And I believe it's something which I also have a personal mission of, and I believe it's a philanthropy is something which many people do, and it's a very great thing. And apart from philanthropy, I believe the adaptive learning and self-learning is also, which I would recommend, because every individual has its own identity. So you have to form your own personal plan and strategy. No one strategy works for all. So I believe it's a very good initiative. But I think for me, something which really wins it is the philanthropy, which I believe is very rare in right now in the coaching industries. So yes, I believe I'd recommend it for people, because it's something, it's a very good thing which you are guys doing, and we should learn from it.